Hey, what's up, everybody? As promised, here we are with Graduation Trip to finish out the Honkai Impact 3rd animations, at least the main ones, and we'll see if there's any other small ones people put in the comments that I need to get to before we move on to other things like Star Rail or any other series that I usually cover that might have other interesting animations to talk about and break down. But the analysis of this one needs to happen first, and here we are. So I am aware from a few commenters saying this, that this is more of a story-driven one, and apparently has less like wow moments in the animation. I'll be the judge of that. Thank you very much. We will see. Some of the best animation can come out of simple dialogue scenes and just the creativity that those demand at times. So we might have some moments in here where I'll yap on forever, but we also might not have that much to talk about, but we won't know until we watch. So without further ado, let's go.
一つの物語が終わるとき、私たちはその始まりを思い出す。
I'm gonna lean back for this one.
昔に戻ったかのように。
I've got a feeling I'm gonna want to pay attention.
今のように、そうだろう?
Despite all I've said, I have created kind of a connection to this story over time, so this might hit me different depending.
うぬぼれないで。彼女は私たちと違う。
I might not know every character, but
どう？私に会って驚いた？ところで、一人足りないね。これで揃った。
しかし残念だ。僕たちの
so far the attention to detail, the lighting and everything, the scenery too, that like one simple shot outside the train was so detailed for so short of a moment.
さよなら。なんか言ってくれないの？よくやった。
Hello me, meet the real me. There's a niche reference only metalheads will understand.
メイ先輩。
Oh, so this is going to be like a straight up like walking back into... This is going to be cool. Okay, I already like this. I didn't know entirely what they were doing with the setup, but
昔と変わらないね。
so far this is making it pretty clear
え、
that they might be going backwards through like every prior animation.
いろいろあったね。
Or this is just a one-off
本当
thing.
にいろいろあったわ。今回もここでお別れなの？いいえ。今回は最後まで一緒に歩くわ。
Oh, look at her blush. It's so cute. Alright, let's see where this goes.
So, 私たちは様々な場所
Is
に
this the city from that
た
one?
くさんの思い
I
出を
think it
残
is.
した。
Yeah, it's gotta be. Okay.
これは愛の物語。きっと
Oh, come on. You got throwing in canon? Really? Canon and D? I mean, you gotta, right? Like, you can't not.
だから
It's called graduation
私と
after
同じよ
all.
うに一歩ずつ前に進もう。ほら、私たちの足跡、どんな時もここにある。
This is so neat. This is a really cool way to do this. And of course, back to where it all started, which is the coolest thing to me. I never thought I would see this train station again, but here we are. Oh, it ties. Okay. All right. This is what I mean by, like, sometimes narrative walkthroughs like that are so worth talking about. I don't think I'll have much to say on details there, just because it was going back through. So we've already talked about the locations, but... Oh, no, you can't be pulling off those... Here come the waterworks from all the fans. You can't be pulling that out. No, no, no. Is that the Star Rail of 87? I'm so sorry. I couldn't have made a dumber comment there. Good God. The most poggable moment of this entire thing. Already putting in the credits? There's no way that it's been 7 minutes. So this must be like another couple minutes long with the credits roll going. Man, you gotta be kidding me with this.
If it's too hard to say goodbye, give us a try to sing around.
How much is gonna happen here? A beautiful, simple pullout. Dude! Is that it? Nothing else? That was 7 minutes? Are you kidding? That was so insanely well paced. Like, I'm not crying because I don't have that much of a connection, but I can see the impact that would have, no pun intended, on people who have played through that whole story. That was brilliantly done. That was so good. I suppose this is kind of interesting because I really don't have anything to say on the animation this time around. I was warned about that, obviously, as I'd mentioned, that there wouldn't be as much spectacle to this one to talk about. I wasn't sure if there would be any specific moments that would be really worth bringing up. There were some great bits of physics in there, especially like that little girl fighting with her like pack at the end. That was really well done. The weight and everything of the character being tossed around by that extra weight on her back, like that's just good physics in general, but I can't really do a whole breakdown of that. I've talked about physics plenty in this series alone on top of other videos from other games, so I don't think I'll double back on it, but just getting to go back and kind of revisit these locations is weirdly nostalgic and kind of emotional for myself even. Again, though I haven't played the game and like really spent time in this world, I've spent so much time watching it, breaking it down, analyzing every little bit of it, that I feel like I did experience at least a good chunk of the world and what it had to offer. And while I have been very clear with my dialogue that I am not paying attention to the story as much as I am the animation, I still do understand the story. I still do pay attention to it. It's just not my focus for the breakdown, so it's not going to be what I talk about. But just sitting here, getting to watch this, getting to see these places again and these characters again that I, in some cases, haven't seen in about a year. And I suppose in a weird way that I do feel sort of a kinship with these characters as a result of all of that and all of the breakdowns and everything that I've done. And of course, the community that's been pulling me through all these videos, albeit with the giant gap near the end there, unfortunately. But I almost think at this point that kind of made this feel even more impactful because it's been so many months since I last saw a lot of these characters. And in that, especially like seeing Bronya first like run towards them during that moment actually kind of caught me off guard, just because especially her animations was like the first ones where I'm like, this is something beyond special, and I could see them going in a certain direction with their animation, and it only got better from there and leading to this. And it's like, man, that one almost got me legitimately. Like I don't know if it showed on camera, but I did have a little bit of like a throat choke at that point where I was like, oh no, here it comes. Luckily, I didn't break down immediately at that point, but it's just getting that response out of somebody like myself who really hasn't spent as much time in there is very impressive narratively. And looking at the animation like that and looking at just the raw emotion being pulled from this project speaks way more for itself than I think I could ever do justice breaking it down here. And then having the motifs of like Canon and D, great idea given the whole name of the project and everything, with the graduation being the whole front of that, and then having the theme of Impact Third come back in there, and it just felt like such a nice bow. And the Star Rail moment, like that almost, like, that was the second spot where I'm like, I don't know, that might get me. I joked about it to save myself because I thought that was such a beautiful moment of just, we're moving forward, we're moving beyond, we know exactly what we're moving to, and they were trying to tie all that together, and it worked so brilliantly well, and they just knocked it out of the park with this. So while I don't necessarily have anything to talk about that would be new for this series at all, everything I would talk about in this one, I've literally already talked about, since a vast majority of this project was already covering all of these locations and everything like that. But man, I just didn't expect it to hit me like that, I suppose. So it feels kind of bittersweet in a way that I've done this for so many months. I did commit to doing all these main story animations and doing an individual video on each one, and just to be here and kind of have that same feeling of completion that I'm sure a lot of people who played the game and are now playing Star Rail felt. It hits you in a very interesting way. There is a nostalgia to seeing these characters like Kiana just growing to a point, and then you're still going. Like, there's still a world that's new to explore out there, but their narrative storytelling is absolutely peak, and they definitely put everything they had into this project, both in writing and pacing. The direction was fantastic. All the little individual, like, the landscape shots, even just the little things that you think wouldn't matter, were so well done, just adding a little bit more character to that moment, even down to that snow falling off of that, like, tree at the end. And there's a psychological thing that comes with that, showing a change of season and in such a change of the character we're watching. There's so many little tricks throughout here. I think this is the absolute apex and the best they could have done for the end of a series like this and the end of a story. It's just so well done. Because of You had so many great moments, and that finale was the best when it came to the showy, fantastical moments, all the little details in that one. That had plenty of moments I could talk about, but this one just, it wanted you to reflect. It didn't want to distract you with all those flashy things and moments. It just wanted you to remember who you were when you started and where you were and who you are now. And that's absolutely a beautiful sentiment to go off on and continue the adventure into Star Rail. So again, coming from a guy who hasn't played this game, fantastic work from the animation team. I cannot wait to see what Star Rail has in store for me. If this is the quality they're putting out at the end of these, I'm worried that a new game might change that. Sometimes they end up changing teams or completely going a different direction with the animation style when projects shift hands like that, but maybe not, and I hope not. But there's always something to talk about in animation for myself, because I do be loving animation and I do be wanting to talk about it and yap to my heart's content, as I am now. So if you have any other ones you want me to get to from this series that I skipped earlier, the short ones, I know a lot of them are story beat ones that really don't make sense for me to do animation breakdowns on, but if there's any ones that are out for Star Rail especially, let me know. If there's any ones from any other games you want me to give a watch, you'd be surprised how little cinematics I've seen out of video games. The odds are you could probably comment whatever and I would be like, okay, let's give it a shot, let's watch it and break it down. So if you have something, let me know down in the comments below as always, and I will do my best to get to it. And of course, if you enjoyed this video despite the lack of animation breakdown, this has been one hell of a journey, and I can't wait to see what is in store for me in the future. So if you want to see more of what is in the future, you know how to follow me and support me and all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!